Ms. Engelhorn, welcome to the show. We've read you are an heir to one of the wealthiest families in Europe. Forbes estimates the family wealth at $4.2 billion. When did you hear that you were going to inherit quite an amount of money?
I heard about this in the most concrete way 2 years ago, in fall 2019. And I would have wanted to be one of these people that say, oh, yay, look at that. And instead I went, oh, dear. And I went really angry.
Why?
And so now, it's a good question. I've asked myself, frankly, I didn't know in the beginning. And it turned out that I wanted my political values and all of my theoretical stuff that I had in my head that I had thought through to align with who I am and what I do. And as soon as I touch the inheritance, which is not yet the case, but will be the case one day, I have to follow through. I have to then prove the point that I'm not just able to think about these very beautiful concepts, but I'm actually aligning my actions with what I say. Well, you could say walk the talk. And to me, that means wealth taxation is the bare minimum of respect. And to work for it and to advocate for it is a consequence of my actions. And to give away the wealth that is not mine to have because I didn't work for it. I got born in the right family. Yay me. Wow, what an achievement. Come on.
Yeah. Do you know how much money you're talking about? Do you know?
No.
But do you have a guess? I mean, it must be quite a lot for you to have an opinion on it.
It's the 2-digit millions.
Right.
That's the range.
Yeah.
But it's so vague that I can't work with numbers that are not solid and safe and factual yet.
Yeah. And do you know where the money came from? Does it matter to you?
Well, it comes from, to a certain degree. It depends on how the question is framed. Because if the question goes into the direction of saying, what is the moral aspect of the money? I can't really say anything about it. But from just a standpoint of where does it come from, there's this company, it's called Boehringer Mannheim. It's a pharmaceutical company. And I'm not familiar with the details of how it used to work because it's not in my family for so long already. Yeah. But it was sold in 1997 or 1996, or maybe on the turn of the year. That's why those two numbers are in my head. For a huge, huge sum to my family, to 3 big family branches. And I'm from one of these family branches. Yeah. And so that's where it comes from. It's someone sold a company for a horrendous amount of money and kept it.
Yeah. And you'd rather give it to the taxman. Why?
I think taxation is something that nobody gets to decide not to do unless they are rich. And that's unfair. Why? Why do we not tax rich people? Why do we only tax people who already make an effort by working? Why is work taxed so much higher than wealth? What's the baseline for this? And frankly, there is no proper answer to that other than, well, rich people are better than everyone else, and they're not. And taxation should reflect that. And taxation, the state, what is it? It's schools, it's kindergartens, it's hospitals, it's the road work, it's public transport, it's the police, it's jurisdiction, we need that. We're all aware that we need it. Why not finance it well? Why let those who can afford it so easily to pay their part? Why exclude them? Yeah. Why make an exception for these people?
Yeah.
And frankly, there is no why.
Well, there are many millionaires and billionaires, especially in the US, who decide to give their money to philanthropy, to good causes. Why do you choose the taxman over a good cause?
Because the state is representative of how a society structures itself. So as a society, democratically, we can vote, we have a government, and the government plays with the state in order to have us all structured. So it's relationship work on a macro scale, if you will. But the key part is it's democratic. Everybody gets to decide. Everybody is put in the very important place that they have in politics, which is 1 vote per person. As soon as I start going into philanthrocapitalism, like Bill Gates does, it's pretending like you're a new kind of king. Like, I think vaccination is very interesting. I'm just going to put money in there and I'm going to focus on this and neglect everything I don't find interesting. The WHO will frame their policies around what Bill Gates thinks is interesting. And I think this is an amount of power that one person holds that's hugely dangerous, and it's anti-democratic. Yeah. He was asked once, why not run for president? And he goes, I'm already more powerful.
Yeah.
You can't be more transparent on the fact that democratic legitimization, please use the correct word in your head, is something that requires work, because you have to prove that you do this in everyone's interest and not just your own. Yeah. We can be lucky, but we shouldn't depend on the goodwill of rich people. We have, the Netherlands, maybe not, but in Austria, we don't want aristocracy. We don't want monarchs. We don't want any kind of emperor. Why facilitate it, though?
Yeah. Yet there will be people who will listen to you and will think, well, she's one to talk. She's had all the privileges. I've worked really hard for the money that I've got, for the wealth that I've got. Why should I pay more?
First, there's a difference between wealth and income. And everybody who has income pays taxes already. That's not the people I mean.
Yeah.
Everybody who has wealth, usually wealth doesn't come from just working hard, and it's never a one-man or one-woman show. Our economy works in such a way that whenever you produce anything, you need a lot of people working for it. There's no such thing as a company that has a great product, but only one person doing everything in their super leather armchair, doing the nicest signature that you have ever seen, but not like who produces it, who markets it, who does all the administrative backwork. All of these people, why exclude them from the profits and the gains? Yeah. Why keep the gains with just a little portion of the people involved? It makes absolutely no sense, other than that these people are obviously not capable of sharing properly. And if you say, well, they can't share properly, which is the primary distribution, if you will, then we will fix it afterwards when sharing has been completed via taxation and redistribute this money, because that's what we do. Taxation is redistribution.
But they will argue, as is in your case, somebody has paid already their taxes over the money even that you are to inherit. So your ancestors have paid taxes, so why pay double?
Every time that money changes from one hand to another, it's taxed, except for when this hand is already rich. When you get income, you pay taxes. When you buy yourself, I don't know, a piece of bread, you pay taxes on it. You pay taxes all the time for everything, other than when you destroy the environment, like when you go and fly, because there is no kerosene tax as far as I know, or when you're already wealthy.
Yeah. Is it your goal that more millionaires follow your lead?
No, that is a very, very cool bonus. But I think what is more important is that we talk about this issue democratically, and the people that are affected already should get the voice that they deserve. People only talk to me because I'm rich, and I say, well, I don't think that this is the right way to go. But there's people who do the actual fight. They don't get the amount of attention I do, but they do the actual work. They go on the street, they put pressure on policy making, they actually go into government and talk to people and make this very important relationship work happen. And everybody is involved in this. Everybody should get to talk about this and say, well, in what kind of world do I want to live? And I want to shape it. That's the core aspect of democracy. Everybody participates, not just the wealthy. And it shouldn't be the wealthy saying, well, we now finally agree that we want to share. Yeah. No, that's not how democracy works.
So how do
if the top 1% doesn't want to share, the bottom 99 can say, well, you have to.
Yeah. So how much do you want to pay? What is your ideal tax rate?
Well, that is something that I find is a very interesting question, but it's not my individual idea that should create an idea of what's good or what isn't. I think the democratic process is more important. First, we need to talk about the base questions. How much is enough? What's the good life for all? Who gets to decide and why? And how do we want to share? If we can agree on something, that's usually a very constitutional phase, then we can choose a model that aligns with these things that we have first come to talk about. But talk also about the power disbalance that comes with wealth inequality. Yes. And for me, I'm open to a lot of models. I want to look at them. I'm not an expert. I need the help and the multi-perspective way of looking at things from other people in order to understand which model makes sense. I want other people to co-decide which makes sense. And that's why I'm not saying out loud what I think is a good form of taxation. Yeah. But given the fact that I'm very much able and willing to give away pretty much everything I will inherit, I think you get an idea of how
far you will go.
Yeah. Because this is the society I belong to, and
Yeah.
I want to belong to it.
Yeah.
I find I'm proud to pay taxes when I get to.
Yeah. Marlene, can I thank you for your fascinating talk and your efforts? Thank you.
Thank you.
Bedankt voor het kijken. Vond je dit een goed gesprek? Vergeet je dan niet te abonneren. Een like of een reactie achterlaten kan natuurlijk ook. Of bekijk een van de andere interviews op dit kanaal.